So what's the difference between training in civil engineering and training in architecture?
What would have been the nature of the Indian Constitution if at the time of the commencement of the Constitution, Gandhi would have been alive?
What do you know about color revolution?
So what is the unemployment rate in India?
What is Duckworth-Lewis method?
Come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good
Have your
afternoon,
seat,
sir.
Rupam. Introduce yourself.
So my name is Rupam Arora. I was born and brought up in Delhi. I completed my schooling from Lotus Valley International School in Noida. Thereafter, I went to School of Planning and Architecture in Bhopal to pursue my bachelor's in architecture. And thereafter, I've been preparing for the Civil Service Examination. And my hobbies include playing and watching cricket and reading and writing Hindi poetry.
Okay. So what's the difference between training in civil engineering and training in architecture?
So civil engineering also includes, for example, bridges, structures, but an architect is licensed to create buildings, to design buildings, to sanction plans of the buildings.
Only building.
So urban design and all that comes as a master of architecture, so it becomes a specialization. But a bachelor of architecture is restricted to building. Although we have in our curriculum, we have touched upon such topics, but we are licensed to create buildings.
Okay. So can I assume that architects are basically semi-civil engineers?
So what we have been said in our college is that civil engineers are semi-architects.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But I think it will differ. In an engineering college, they will say that architects are semi-civil engineers. So I think it will vary.
Okay. So have you studied at case study the foundation of Taj Mahal?
The foundation, no, sir.
Why it is so a stable building?
Why it is so stable?
Stable. It is on the bank of river Jamuna. It gets flooded several times, and still the foundation remains very strong. In spite of massive earthquakes it has faced. But modern buildings, if there is a flooding, their foundations get validated, they collapse, etc.
Sir, I can make an attempt to this question. I can think about it and make an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that comes to my mind is that there is a very high plinth. Taj Mahal is raised on a very high level. So the plinth is sufficient enough to let the flood water not enter the main Taj Mahal building. Secondly, sir, I think there are wooden planks on top of the marble, and even in the foundation they have used wooden planks which float on water and keep the weight of the structure lighter. So these are the two reasons that
which wood has been used 400 years or 500 years ago, which are still intact.
So I can take a guess again. I think it would be sandalwood or teak. I am not sure.
What is the life of teak wood?
So I'm not sure, but it is quite long.
Okay. Your name is Rupam.
Yes, sir.
There used to be a currency in ancient times, the name of which was not exactly same, but it sounded similar. What is that?
So I can think of rupiah right now.
That it started in medieval times. Sher Shah termed it rupiah for the first time, but in ancient time.
Sir, I'm not aware of it.
There is a currency called rupak.
Rupak.
What metal it was made up of?
Sir, because I don't know about the currency, but I can again take a guess that because all the currencies were either silver or gold or bronze, so I think it could be either one of them.
Okay. You have mentioned in your DAP that your father comes from Haryana, Rohtak.
Yes, sir.
Recently, excavations were going on for quite some time, but recently it has been discovered that Haryana is hosting the largest Indus town. Which town I'm referring to?
Sir, I'm not able to recall it at this moment.
How many Indus civilization centers are found in Haryana?
I'm not sure of the number.
Town planning is the oldest example coming from Indus civilization itself.
Yes, sir.
आर्किटेक्ट मत को तो जानना ही चाहिए, वो हरियाणा के आर्किटेक्ट तो पक्का जाना चाहिए.
Sir, I belong from Delhi. My father shifted to Delhi when he was 6 years old. So
ठीक है, तो इंद्रप्रस्थ का बता दीजिए.
So Indraprasth is right from the Mahabharata times. So it's one of the Panch Prasths. So What else about Indraprastha, sir?
We are conducting excavations of Indraprastha town.
So
In Delhi itself, the excavations are going on.
I'm not sure of it.
Okay, my last question, Rupam. You, as a political scientist, how do you rate B.R. Ambedkar? Is he at par or close to Chanakya, or he is a different kind of? We can compare these two persons.
Sir, I would like to say that he's close to Chanakya. Can I give an example for this, sir? So, for example, Mahatma Gandhi wanted to keep the Gandhian structure of the constitution as a part of the fundamental right, but Mr. Ambedkar quite tactfully chose to keep it in the DPSP. So I think that was one of his strategic things, and the Gandhian Swaraj is still very relevant in rural areas, but Mr. Ambedkar was quite, he had a vision that massive industrialization and can take the country forward. So he was in favor of that as well. So he kept both the structures in the constitution in different places. So I think that was one of his something that he did.
Chanakya could raise a big leadership like Chandragupta Maurya, and with Chandragupta Maurya he could develop the first empire of India. Why couldn't Ambedkar do all these things? Why couldn't he develop a team of disciples?
So one reason that comes to my mind is that Ambedkar, along with let's say modernizing India, along with writing the constitution, the legal terms, he himself had to fight for the basic necessities and the basic respect in the society.
Fine, but
so two fronts at one
time. But leadership development is a different program. He could have chosen among his followers those who are having the perseverance, long-term commitment. He could have raised them. Gandhi raised Nehru, Gandhi raised Patel, Gandhi raised many other leaders, Rajendra Prasad.
Sir, I think that is also because first, the Indian society at that time was not ready for such a big, massive shift. Second, sir, I feel that Mr. Ambedkar also had opinion differences with Mahatma Gandhi, for example. So that would have led to a rise in his popularity, but also a faction who would have opposed him. So these two reasons come to my mind.
Fine.
So, Rupam, I would like to continue the same conversation that what would have been the nature of the Indian Constitution if at the time of the commencement of the Constitution, Gandhi would have been alive?
Sir, I think the nature of the Indian Constitution would have remained the same, because we adopted the Constitution in 1949 and the Constitution building process had been in place since 1946, and at that time Mahatma Gandhi was alive. So it all happened while he was alive, and only maybe in the last part he was not there.
But what I have read that Gandhi's principles was dominated at the time when he was alive. The moment he demised, it was replaced by the Nehruvian philosophy, or the liberal intellectual philosophy got more dominated over that.
Sir, I think Gandhi's disciples, as Sir mentioned, they were already in the Constituent Assembly. For example, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. So they were already in the Constituent Assembly, and the factors were already being inculcated during the Constituent Assembly debates. So I think by and large the Constitution would have remained the same. Yes, sir, we can say that there was an ideological difference, or we can also say that there was a generational change whereby Mr. Nehru understood that industrialization and such sort of industrialization was needed. But I think the Gandhian principles which were established in the DPSP also signify that the Gandhian principles have not lost importance. So I think it would have broadly remained the same. It was from a broad consensus only.
Okay. Your father happens to be a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
So how lawyer different from advocate and barristers?
So as far as I can recall, an advocate is someone who registers himself or herself in the bar association. After they get the license, they can call themselves an advocate. Otherwise, by education, they are a lawyer. And sir, I'm not really sure of the barrister term.
So again, your father works as a lawyer or advocate?
My father works as an advocate.
Advocate. See, you must have gone through the last 5 to 6 days newspaper.
Yes, sir.
Or a week newspaper. So what important constitutional and political issues you must have found over there?
So regarding India or?
Regarding India.
The important constitutional issues. So there is one special intensive revision which is going on, which has raised concerns, and many factions of India have raised concerns about a constitutional body, the Election Commission of India. But I'm not exactly aware of the constitutional debate going on. I mean, like directly from the constitution.
Or the messages passed by the Supreme Court.
Right, sir. I recalled that, sir. Can I share? Sir, the Supreme Court recently passed a judgment of the presidential reference under Article 143, and they passed a judgment about Article 200 regarding the governor, and Article 201 regarding the president's power to grant assent to state bills.
Also not about Article 25 and Article 22?
Sir, I think that would be included in the special intensive revision, if I am not wrong.
Okay. What is Article 22?
Sir, regarding arrest and detention.
Arrest and detention. Anyway, see, when we comes to the democratic decentralization, we found a local self-body, local self-government, and that leads to the good governance at the local level. But there is a second version also, that good governance also leads to local self-government in more extent than part. So, which is best? Good governance to local self-government or local self-government to good governance?
Sir, I think it's a cycle which completes itself both the ways. But if given a chance, if I have to choose one of them, I think good governance to local self-government in India's context would be better, because local self-government as a constitutional mechanism came later than good governance as an idea.
Or local self-government on its own has not achieved what it was made for. That's why the good governance will help more in terms of achieving the target of the local self-government.
So while there are many factors for the local self-government to not have achieved what it was intended to, and some of the factors are in fact not in their hands as well. For example,
that's what I wanted to come over here, that suppose apart from the funds, function and functionaries, what all elements were there which hampered the development of the local self-government?
So for example, the current development that we have also states that there is for example, there is also a web series, and there is a practice of Pradhan Pati. So wherever the seats are reserved for women, due to the lack of social structure and social amalgamation of and respect for women, which is very unfortunate, it is again changing in India right now. Women representatives have historically become a rubber stamp, and their husbands have been taking over the work, even if they are not the elected representative. But I believe that this system is largely being changed now.
You comes from Haryana, my last question.
No sir, I'm from Delhi.
You are from Delhi?
Yes sir.
Okay, Rohtak is your address, I hope. I have seen in your DAF.
So my address is from Delhi. My father was born in Rohtak, and that is all.
Rohtak. Have you heard about Rajbala case?
No sir, I'm sorry.
Sir.
Rupam. So I've studied architecture from Bhopal.
Yes.
And incidentally, the same city hosts an engineering marvel, or I should say architectural marvel, in the form of a unique railway foot-over bridge having a unique 90-degree turn. So, having studied architecture, why do you think such constructions pass the test of obvious?
So before all these structures, for example, they have to go through a sanction plan. So I think this was a faulty sanction as well as the design. So the person who drafted the plan was not checked by the checker, and then the plan was sent by the checker to the sanction plan, and the municipal corporation there, the person who was supposed to sanction the plan, looked over it, and the construction began. So it was
if you move across the spectrum, there are n number of examples, particularly in the construction of these public utilities. Coming from a technical background, can you suggest some of the measures which we can put in place that such things at least should reduce in number in future?
Sir, I would not like to point out one happening to a cartel system. It might have not been a part of a cartel, but these things evidently should not happen. So some steps, like you mentioned, one of them can be proper checks and balances in terms of the vendor. So the vendor must hire proper civil engineers and architects, and there should be a proper checking mechanism, a 3-tier or a 2-tier checking mechanism within the vendor or the company. Then comes the sanction part. I think there should be again a 2-tier sanction, the plan sanction department.
Where do you put public into this picture? I'm specifically talking about the social audit of these infrastructural projects. How feasible do you think this idea is? We are in fact doing social audit in some of the projects, but do you think it should be made a complete part and parcel of every infrastructural project as far as public utilities are concerned?
Sir, I think it would be a great idea to include public in the social audit, especially the self-help groups and especially the RWAs. Because I've seen in quite a few years, the resident welfare associations have been working quite prominently, even with the governments. So I think RWA can play a major part in the social audit as an organization which is representing people at the local level, and they are also organized.
Fine. Rupam, you have also studied political science and international relations. What do you know about color revolution?
Color revolution.
Yep.
So I can again, I would like to make an attempt, sir, if you...
Go ahead.
So the color revolution, as the name suggests to me, might be about anti-racism protest, if I'm right. I'm not...
You are grossly straying away from the idea. So basically, color revolution talks about changing regimes in countries, either through regime degradation or regime change. So these are the methods that are used by big powers. We can see one such example happening in Bangladesh, right? So adding to that, Bangladesh and Nepal particularly witnessed youth protests also, which turned violent. Do you think India is also susceptible to such kind of protests taking place in the future, because we have a huge demographic dividend?
Sir, regarding the protest, it is very unfortunate, first of all, but I think India is not susceptible to such kind of a revolution, primarily because I would like to compare the constitutions of Bangladesh and Nepal with India. India has a much more developed constitution per se. I think this is also the reason why the protest happened in Bangladesh and Nepal. Secondly, sir, the Indian youth right now, the demographic dividend, as you mentioned, is also engaged in positive activities. For example, we're growing and there are a lot of startups and a lot of people are also getting jobs. Also, there are concerns for jobless growth, but jobs are increasing, but not at the growth rate of the economy. So I think such incidents are not likely to happen, but India still needs to be watchful of it.
Okay, my last question to you. Precisely tell me 3 interventions that government has made to redirect this growing youthful population into constructive domains.
To redirect the youthful population.
Yeah.
So first one, as I can recall right now, is the Pradhan Mantri internship program.
Fine.
So that was redirected. Second is the Manrega, where in rural areas people can get jobs for 100 days.
Manrega is now a decadal program. Tell me something fresh. Pradhan Mantri Internship Yojana, I agreed. More?
Sir, skill development programs of the government. I'm not recalling the name
Fine.
right now, sir.
Thank you.
Hi Rupam. So you mentioned that you've studied German in your school. So are there any similarities that you found between German language and Hindi language in any words?
Ma'am, I studied German in school. So both the languages, the Hindi and German, are derived from Sanskrit, because both languages are Indo-Aryan languages. So for example, the word mother in both Hindi and German starts from the word M. So it's mutter there. In English, even it's mother, and in Hindi, it's ma. So it all 3 starts from M. So that is a similarity that I can recall right now.
All right. And you also studied architecture. So there's a prize that's commonly called the Nobel Prize of Architecture. Are you aware of that award?
Yes, ma'am. It's the Pritzker Prize.
Right. So who won that award very recently?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the recent. Okay. I'll have to look it up.
Sure. Any Indian who won this award?
Yes, ma'am. Architect B.V. Doshi.
Okay. Recall the year?
I'm not able to recall.
It's okay. And why do you think that the architecture that we used to have in the ancient times still stands strong in comparison to the modern architecture that we have, given the development that we've already made? Still, that does not stand as strong as the ones in the ancient times?
Ma'am, I can think of 2 broad reasons for that. One is that the population at that time was not very much. So the planning could have been more efficient, and the area that they could have utilized for the planning could have been much larger given the density of the population that we have in cities right now. That is one factor. And second factor is that the availability of natural resources back then was huge. So for example, even in Taj Mahal, the wooden planks that I talked about, In today's time, we have other synthetic materials which are used in this room as well, which look like wood but are not wood. So the life of the material goes down. So with modern industries, we also have modern materials which do not stand the same duration of longevity.
Okay, so you also mentioned about jobless growth. So what is the unemployment rate in India?
I'll have to check. I'm not sure.
And female labor force participation?
Ma'am, if memory serves me right, it is about 48% if I'm not wrong.
41%, close. Okay. And is it more in the rural areas or urban areas?
So, ma'am, female participation in occupation is more in the rural areas than the urban areas.
And why do you think that is?
Because of the migration of their husbands across cities. So what we call as the feminization of agriculture is happening, and females are taking to both the work of the home as well as work of the field. So that is why.
Okay. And what do you think needs to be done to increase this participation more in the tertiary sector or formal sector, especially in the urban areas?
Ma'am, I think one prominent thing even that the government of India did was to encourage STEM, STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, especially in the rural areas, because in the urban areas it's picking up quite a lot now. And we've also seen, for example, in the UPSC Civil Services Examination, a lot of times there are many, and in fact more than males, there are female candidates and female selections. So in the urban area it's picking up, but I think we need it more in the rural area. So that they can be diverted from feminization of agriculture towards tertiary sector.
Okay. And anything that the government is doing in particular for tribal employment?
For tribal employment, ma'am, I'm not able to recall that.
Okay, no problem. And are you aware of the splitting of the African continent?
As in historically, geographically?
The East African rift. That's in news these days because of the eruption also of the volcano.
Ma'am, broadly I am, but not the details.
Okay. So this volcano, Hailey-Gubby volcano that erupted very recently. So this African continent is believed to be splitting into two parts. So can you think of any consequences that it would lead to geographically if this happens?
Ma'am, there are concerns about African continent splitting into two parts, especially the Madagascar island, as we see, has already been split from the African continent. And one major implication of that is the shifting of the Eastern African continent towards Australia. So that is what I know of right now, that it might collide with the Australian plate and it might create a unified landmass, but it is about 150 million years ago, right? So not immediate.
Okay. And what do you think is the strategy that India follows in its defense sector, particularly given the light of trade deals and defense deals that we have been signing with US and also Russia, their negotiations? So what do you think, what is the strategy of India?
Ma'am, I think the current regime has been very focused on Atmanirbharta. The domestic and indigenous defense capabilities have been increasing quite a lot. And also we are reducing our dependence on the Russians, and we are diversifying our sources to the US, Israel, as well as France. We've seen the Rafale deal recently. So we've been diversifying that.
So who's our number one arms supplier right now? Which country?
Ma'am, if I'm not wrong, right now it's Russia.
But the the dependency is decreasing over the years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Are you aware of the term man-kidding in cricket?
Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean?
Ma'am, when the bowler, before bowling the ball, or often even in between of his action, if the running batsman gets out of the crease in a hurry before the ball is delivered, he can run him out even before bowling the ball. That is called man-kidding.
Who is it named after?
Ma'am, it's named after an Indian cricketer called Mankad.
Vinu Mankad.
Yeah, Vinu.
All right. Do you think it's against sportsmanship spirit?
Ma'am, I do not think that it's against the sportsmanship spirit, because it's written in the rule book of cricket that a runner must not leave his crease until the ball is bowled. So if the man-kidding, if we say, is against the spirit of the rules, running before the ball is being bowled is also against the spirit of the rules.
All right. Do you think a bowler should warn the batsman before he runs him out? At least 1 or 2 warnings are justified.
Ma'am, I think it's debatable, but according to me, it's okay if the bowler runs him out in the first attempt, because even the running batsman is not warning the bowler that he's going to run. So,
all right. What is Duckworth-Lewis method?
Ma'am, DLS system is something that is used to assess the conditions when the play is stopped. So it is used to assess which team has a higher chance of winning at what point of time during the game. Let's say during bad light or during when rain stops play. So that system is used either to decide who wins or to reduce the number of overs and the number of target or to increase it.
Do you think there's an alternate system that is being proposed in place of TLS? Are you aware?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay. What is eco-feminism?
Eco-feminism is a brand of feminism which has been propagated by activists like Miss Vandana Shiva and
In India.
They bring up the fact that women and environment face the same kind of problems. They relate it. And they also say that women are the first line of victims of environmental degradation. So that is how they relate environmental protection and the need of environmental protection to women empowerment as well.
How do you think are women the first line of victims as far as environmental degradation is concerned? Do you agree with it?
Ma'am, I agree with it. Can I
How?
give an example?
Sure.
Ma'am, for example, we live in urban areas, but there are a lot of, even in urban areas and the rural areas, women have to go long distances to get water. So it's not a direct impact, but the water table which is going down is an environmental impact, which is leading to women having harsher times, and they have to go to long distance and they have to come back and also serve the, let's say, the men of the house. So even in this patriarchal times and the harshness that they have to face, environmental degradation is increasing the harsh time on them indirectly.
All right. What is the difference between a glass cliff and glass ceiling?
Ma'am, glass ceiling is an invisible ceiling whereby it's used for, in the corporate sector, basically for women colleagues. It's used when a woman is placed at a position above which they are not usually promoted to. So that is the glass ceiling, ki iske upar ab nahi jayenge. Glass cliff is a phenomena where just before a bad happening, a woman is placed at the top just to shift the blame to the woman.
Can you think of any examples of this glass cliff phenomenon?
Ma'am, it's not exactly a glass cliff phenomena, but I might make an attempt.
Sure.
The recent Prime Minister-elect of Nepal, she's not elected officially during elections, but if anything goes bad from now, she might end up being in the glass cliff.
Fair. Have you read Rawls?
Yes,
John
ma'am.
Rawls? All right. He says that inequalities are justified if they are to the benefit of the least advantaged. Do you agree?
Broadly, yes, ma'am.
All right. My final question to you is, do you think you have displayed an interest in Coke Studio Music, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think Coke Studio Music can be used as a platform for social messaging?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, I think so.
How?
Ma'am, Coke Studio blends the folk with the modern traditions. So one kind of social message is cultural preservation and having pride in, let's say, India's culture. So Coke Studio brings up a very good platform with a lot of viewership, and it also preserves the culture as well as gives a modern taste to it. So for example, for people, for Gen Z people, for example, it revives the culture and also brings a social message.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rupam, should India get closer to USA or should we get closer to Russia? Which country is more valuable for us?
So I think both the countries are equally valuable for India, and India should tread the path that India has already been taking of strategic autonomy and associating itself with both while taking none of the sides.
We officially recognized existence of Israel in 1992 as a nation. Do you think that the earlier policy of not recognizing Israel was a mistake, or recognizing Israel in 92 is a mistake?
So I think not recognizing Israel till 1992 would have been the demand of the times, and as the times of India, as the status of India in the international order changed, as we got more autonomy and more say, we took the decision of basically recognizing Israel, and I think it has been a good decision since the time it has been recognized.
Yesterday we have signed an agreement with Russia through which we are going to send more citizens to Russia to work as professionals in different sectors. Do you think under the guise of this agreement we are going to send soldiers to Russia to fight against Ukraine?
Sir, I do not believe so. As far as I can remember, sir, it is the protocol of the Indian Army for all the soldiers to serve in the Indian Army and their regiment only under orders. So I do not think that
maybe the Indians would not be participating as part of combat army, but they'll be part of the support system to army.
So
Navy, in your logistics, they'll be engaged.
So I do not believe so that India will directly take this stand and support
Not
Russia.
directly, indirectly. Let's say they'll be manning the IT department, which are basically related to the war efforts.
So maybe this can happen because of the close ties of India and Russia. But I think India will not explicitly.
So how do Europe, if this is so, because Europeans must be reading the fine lines of the agreement, what would be their reaction in future? That means India is more and more willingly supporting Russia in their efforts against Ukraine, and the Europeans are supporting Ukraine. How do you think Europeans would react to that?
So I think the first thing that would have come to the minds of the European experts would be that all the sanctions and the immigration policies that US is bringing in right now, India is trying to diversify its sources to send people abroad and increase its diaspora and reducing dependence on US. And for example, the people who cannot renew their H-1B visa have opportunities elsewhere. So that is the primary thing I think the experts would suggest. Second, I think they'll be watchful of Indian events and what India does in this way, as all countries are watchful of each other. But I don't think that they'll take any immediate threat of it.
Fine, Rupam, your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I come in, sir?
Come in. Have your seat, Rupam.
Thank you, sir.
Your interview is only day after tomorrow.
Yes,
8th.
sir.
So you've got little time. How would you respond to your preparation after today's experience? What lessons you have drawn?
So this is in fact the first mock that I've given, and the
Fine.
interview is only day after tomorrow. I have to prepare my DAF and especially Haryana, because I did not expect a question on Haryana. So many questions on Haryana. And regarding some factual questions, I'm not sure if it's okay to not know like 3 of the questions that sir asked. But I mean, otherwise the conversations I think were fine.
Yeah, our opinion is also that overall your conversation was good, quality of answer was also good, analytical skills, verbal communication, all things were very good. So there is nothing to worry about. The only thing is that given the time available to you next, let's say 36 hours, how much value you can add to your performance. That is actually the concern. So 2-3 points only. One, of course, you have identified, read a little bit about Haryana. And don't answer in that tone that my father was just born there and I'm not connected to. You can rather be more polite there. Yes, we are connected to Haryana, but unfortunately I don't know much about it. I'll read about it.
Okay.
Even if you don't know many things. See, you don't need to be born in Haryana to know Rakhigadi or to know Indus Valley civilization. People from the world knows that. तो वो ऐसे एक्सक्यूज नहीं कि नहीं हरियाणा राखीगढ़ी नहीं पता क्योंकि मैं हरियाणा में पैदा नहीं हुआ.
I did not know the exact city. I was inclined towards Rakhigadi, but I did not want to take that chance.
हाँ तो थोड़ा सा पढ़ लीजिए.
हाँ जी.
ठीक है. Second thing, if you don't know, remain polite answering, but also don't make wild guesses.
Okay.
That happened in case of color revolutions. वो कलर रेवोल्यूशन इसलिए कहते हैं ना कि कभी किसी रेवोल्यूशन का नाम कर दिया पिंक रेवोल्यूशन, किसी का नाम कर दिया वेलवेट रेवोल्यूशन, किसी का वायलेट रेवोल्यूशन. अलग अलग वो नोमेनक्लेचर तो वहीं से वेस्ट से बनता है, मीडिया वाले अपना कुछ बता देते हैं, तो उससे रिलेटेड था. ये कोई रेसिज्म वगैरह से रिलेटेड नहीं था. तो वाइल्ड गेस नहीं करिएगा. नॉट ओनली दिस क्वेश्चन, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन. ये आपको एक मैसेज लेके चलना है. दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि कंटेम्प्रेरी चीज़ों में आपने शायद लिखा है कि आप हिंदी कविता लिखना और पढ़ना पसंद करते हैं. तो आपसे पूछ सकते हैं, एक आध मॉडल कविता तैयार रखा होगा?
हाँ जी.
अच्छा, गज़ल भी? ठीक है, तो अपनी तैयारी रखिएगा. क्योंकि आप आर्किटेक्ट हैं तो ये पूछ सकते हैं कि हाल फिलहाल में जो बड़े बड़े बिल्डिंग बने उसमें एक अपना पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग है, किसने डिज़ाइन किया वगैरह वगैरह, सब तैयार रखिएगा. और वो जो नोबेल प्राइज़ वगैरह के सवाल पूछे गए थे, अगर पता है तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं भी पता है तो कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन जानकारी रखने चाहिए। तो 3 ही बात है, एक तो पैरों को इतना फैला के मत बैठिएगा, थोड़ा सा मतलब जो कुर्सी का बाहरी एज है ना दोनों तरफ का, उसके अंदर ही रहना चाहिए। अदरवाइज आपका सिटिंग पोस्चर अच्छा है, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन अच्छा है, पॉजिटिव हैं आप। और बाकी 2 चीज़ें, गेस नहीं करना है, और नहीं पता हो तो अपोलोजेटिक फील करने की जरूरत नहीं है, पोलाइटली कह देना है कि सर आई विल रीड अबाउट इट। ये 3 बेसिक पॉइंट। बाकी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा है, अच्छे स्कोर करेंगे आप। Any other question?
So, will you be giving marks for this interview?
Your range, I will suggest, your range is anywhere more than 170, it may go up to 90, 190.
Thank you, sir.
2-3 खाली ये गलतियाँ नहीं करिएगा, गेस करिएगा तो फिर वो 20-30 नंबर नीचे आ जाएगा।
Sir, guess करने के लिए can I ask, like मैंने
हाँ,
sir को
रिक्वेस्ट
पूछा
कर
था।
लीजिए, if you are tempted to make a guess, request.
Actually, sir, in this case, I did not know about 3 factual questions in a line. So I thought कि इस वाले में I will ask to take a guess.
हाँ, वो पूछ लीजिए, लेकिन उस प्रेशर मत आइए। अगर आपको लगातार 5 बार भी सॉरी कहना पड़े तो कहिए।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू सर।
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.